What's going on, sartorialist? Welcome back to The Wholesystyle. If you're new here, my name is Barry Ramirez. Welcome to the channel and thank you sincerely for watching. Today we are going to be discussing the 3 menswear cliches that I hate the most. We're going to be discussing why I think these cliches are false or incorrect so that you can stop saying them and, more importantly, stop believing them. And without saying too much more, let's get into it. The first menswear cliche that I want to challenge is the saying, fit is king. Now, to say that fit is king is to imply that fit is the most important aspect of a man's style when he is dressing up or when he is developing his style. And I think that this is utterly and incredibly false and misleading. Now, I'm not saying that fit is unimportant. I think that it's a significant aspect of style and every man should consider fit. But to me, the most important aspect of a man's style is his authenticity, or as it's been said in other words, his expression. To me, authenticity is king. What I mean by authenticity is simply that a man is dressing in a way that's consistent with what he thinks is cool, interesting, unique, or if they're of a certain temperament, even beautiful. And sometimes it's the case that authenticity can run in conflict with fit. Now, there's also the issue that what fit is a bit subjective. If you look at how menswear has changed over the last 100 years, some of these staple garments that men wear, like suits and sport coats, they haven't changed very drastically in their construction. But what they have changed is in their fit, the way that they look on a man. In the 70s, you had, for example, trousers with flares that were a bit more slim. In the 80s, you had broader suits with more full-cut trousers and full-cut coats, right? The idea is that, again, fit is to a degree subjective. And if you are trying to express your style authentically, if indeed authenticity is king, what that means is that you will have to a certain extent, determine what is the proper fit for you and what your preferences are, right? Again, some people prefer more full-cut suits, some people prefer slim suits, and the question as to whether what is the correct way to dress is very, very difficult to answer. And when menswear gurus and charlatans say king or fit is king, they're not realizing that they're not really saying anything of substance, precisely because there is no idea as to what is objectively the best kind of fit. The next menswear cliche that I hate the most is the expression that this or that thing is timeless. Now, perhaps it's because I'm an English professor and I spend a lot of time reading and writing, and I have a deep appreciation for precise language, such that I cannot tolerate the imprecise use of the word timeless in classic menswear. All you have to do is reel back history 1,000 years and you will very clearly see that men at that time did not dress the same way that we do today. Now, there are certain garments that have lasted longer than others, and when we think of classic menswear, I think that's what we have in mind, but even those have a relatively cosmologically short-lived time span. If we're talking about like a sport coat, for example, maybe 150 to 300 years, depending on how far back you want to chase the genealogy. But the idea here is, again, that the use of the word timeless is extraordinarily imprecise. It irks me. Nothing is truly timeless in menswear. The last menswear cliche that I hate the most is the expression dress for the occasion. Now, I'm not so staunch as to say that you should never dress for the occasion. I don't believe that. If you are going to a wedding or participating in a wedding, a formal event, I believe in that case you should dress for the occasion. If you have an interview and you know that you are going to be judged severely for the way that you dress and present yourself, in that instance, I believe that you should dress for the occasion. If you work in an environment that has a very strict dress code, in that instance, here again, I believe that you should dress for the occasion. However, for all other occasions, I would argue that you, in fact, should not dress for the occasion. And the reason that I say that is because I think this is a kind of pathetic recipe for conformity. Take, for example, if I'm going to the grocery store, and that's the one place that I'm going today, right? If I dress for the occasion, going to the grocery store, what that means is that I'm going to a certain extent, blend in with the people there. And I don't know what it's like where you live, but where I live, what that means is that I'm going to be wearing primarily workout clothes. And while I do occasionally do that when I'm being lazy, most of the time I try to express myself and dress authentically. So if I feel like wearing a sport coat that particular day, I'm gonna wear a sport coat even if I'm just going to the grocery store, right? Now, you might think I'm gonna stand out a bit, and of course I will. But again, what's most important to me in my style is expressing myself authentically. And so if I want to wear a sport coat, I'm gonna fucking wear a sport coat no matter where it is that I go, right? Also, I would argue that you should try to use these very small occasions where there's not a strict dress code to actually work on developing your personal style. You almost want to think of it as getting a rep in, like you would at the gym if you were doing a bench press or a curl, something to that effect, right? If you're developing your own personal style, this is an opportunity to work on it. Maybe you want to wear a garment that you haven't worn before, or put an outfit together in a particular arrangement that you haven't done before. I would highly recommend not dressing for the occasion when you don't have to dress for the occasion. Think of your style as more being like an ornament hanging on the face of the world, and try to express yourself uniquely wherever it is that you go, whenever you can. So there you have it, sartorialists. Those are the 3 menswear cliches that I hate the most. I'm sure that there's many of you who disagree, which I completely welcome. So if you do disagree, or if you do agree, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this video. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be informed when I drop more videos on the Hulsey style. Until next time, guys.